Welcome to Ray Kingdom Sports, and I am here to discuss the Sunday night special between the Colts and the Patriots. The Colts ended up defeating the Patriots 27-17. Now, this game, it wasn't very good if you ask me. There was a lot of entertaining things that definitely happened in this game that you weren't really expecting. Like, you weren't really expecting the Colts to win this game by 10 points. That's for sure. That's definitely not what I was expecting at all during this game. I really did not. Now, if you would, the way the Colts played offensively, if we're taking away Jonathan Taylor, because we'll get to Jonathan Taylor in a second, you look at Carson Wentz's stat line. He went 5 of 12, 57 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. And he had one interception, but I swear there was times he was literally trying to throw interceptions left and right. Like, he could have easily ended this game probably with 2, 3, maybe even 4 interceptions. Like, he did not. Carson Wentz had a really bad foot, but he had a terrible game. Carson Wentz, now, albeit, he had Jonathan Taylor on his team, and, if you have Jonathan Taylor, you don't really need to do much because that dude has shown that he might be an MVP favorite or arguably could win the MVP. I know they say it's a quarterback-driven award, but, like, you look at the way that Jonathan Taylor has been playing this season, like, you could argue that he definitely deserves votes for MVP. If Jonathan Taylor does not give votes for the MVP award, it doesn't mean anything anymore. They just need to just say it's the quarterback award, like, just for how well he has been playing. So it's like, if we look at the Colts in this game, the Colts offensively, I thought were terrible. Other than Jonathan Taylor, the Colts offense was terrible. Like, they couldn't get the ball moving much at all in the second half. They had one good drive, if you ask me, in the entire they had one good drive the entire game. And that was, I think, their opening possession where they just fed Jonathan Taylor. They just kept feeding him and feeding him and feeding him. And the Colts, that's what they need to be doing, feeding him. Now, Carson Wentz, like I said, played terribly, so I don't know what they're going to have to do something about Carson Wentz, because he's definitely going to have to be playing better, because you can't, if the Colts get down in a playoff game or even later on in the season, the Colts are going to definitely have to get better with their quarterback play, because that was a very bad game by Carson Wentz. 5 of 12. I mean, like I said, Jonathan Taylor, but still 5 of 12. That was pretty bad. But like I said, they had one good drive all night, if you ask me, that they just fed Jonathan Taylor. The rest of the game, they couldn't do anything. I feel like the score was kind of inflated a little bit for them, because obviously a block punt for a touchdown is nothing to look over. Like, that's a great play for the Colts as a whole. I thought that like, obviously that was a momentum shifter in this game. That's when you knew that the Patriots were going to have to play it from behind, and they were going to have to pull plays out of their hat and make some great elite plays. They couldn't do that tonight. The Patriots were bad. The Patriots were terrible in this game. But that block punt definitely swung the momentum of this game. But then after that, just the Colts couldn't do anything else. They couldn't. There was a lot of bad things that the Colts couldn't do the rest of this game. They couldn't move the ball. The Patriots defense locked down, didn't really do much. And the end of the game was really the best thing that the Colts had all game, it felt like, was Jonathan Taylor icing the game with a long touchdown run, because he ended the game with 29 carries, 170 yards, and averaging almost 6 yards a carry and a touchdown. And he now has 11 straight games with a touchdown. Like, that just feels unheard of, rushing the ball these days. Like, in an NFL where it's a pass-heavy league, just the way Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry just make you reevaluate the game, because it shows that a massive running game is very important, if you ask me. It's very important, because Carson Wentz was bad in this game. He was bad. But Jonathan Taylor, and having an elite defense like the Colts defense was the elite tonight. It was fantastic. It was nothing to just gloss over. That defense of the Colts, it's legit. It is a legit team. And honestly, the Colts might be, like I said, I think Carson Wentz has to be playing much better than what he did tonight. But the Colts are going to be a scary team in the playoffs. Legit going to be a scary team in the playoffs, because they have Arizona, Las Vegas, and Jacksonville left. You can definitely chalk up 2 wins for the Colts there. That's at least 10-7. They could even go 11-6. Like, the Colts have gotten something going late in the season. So the Colts are definitely not a team that you're just going to want to gloss over, because they're very, very good defensively. Jonathan Taylor in the playoffs is going to be an elite runner. Now, the only thing I have questions about is Carson Wentz, because I don't think Carson Wentz is going to win them any football games whatsoever. I really don't. But I'm glad that the Colts won tonight, because as a Chiefs fan, that, the Chiefs are still the number 1 seed in the AFC as of right now, as I'm recording this game, after this game had literally just wrapped up like 5 minutes ago. But yeah, the Colts, they're going to be a scary team. They're going to be a tough team. They may even make a push for their division, because if you look at Tennessee, they play Pittsburgh this week, then San Francisco, then Miami, and then Houston. The Titans could easily lose 3 more games, and then the Colts could win the division. I know the injuries for the Titans kind of changed things up, but the Colts could make a run in their division. That's the thing. The AFC is completely wide open still completely wide open. AFC North, nobody wants to win. AFC East, that division may not be as wrapped up as we think it is. It may not be. Buffalo, they can make a run for it. Miami's been hot. You never know with this season in the NFL. Like I mentioned, the North, nobody wants to win. The South, it just feels like it's between the Colts and the Titans, and it's wide open there. I mean, I think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC right now. Like, it's not even close. Because the Chiefs right now, literally, I feel like if the Chiefs went out right now and they beat Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Denver, which are really easy, they're winnable games for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the number 1 seed, and they played like crap the entire season. I know this isn't a Chiefs podcast, but I'm a Chiefs fan, and I want to talk Chiefs as much as I can. But it just felt like the NFL had many times this season to just count the Chiefs out, and they couldn't do it. And it didn't happen. And now, because they couldn't close it out, Mahomes is getting right. That defense is really great. And they just beat the Chargers in a very impressive game. So the Chiefs could be the number 1 team in the AFC here soon. Or they are now, and they could be the number 1 seed heading into the playoffs. That's the thing. Now, if you look at the Patriots in this game, that was a very bad game by the Patriots. That game was terrible. Now, I will say Mac Jones, in my opinion, definitely outplayed Carson Wentz. And it wasn't even close. I think Mac Jones outplayed Carson Wentz, but Mac Jones was terrible in this game. Mac Jones was bad. They could get nothing going until the fourth quarter. Absolutely nothing going. There were even analytics people questioning Bill Belichick kicking that field goal. And in my head, like, what are you guys doing wasting your precious muscles and your fingers typing out kicking the field goal was against the analytics, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you do realize this is Bill Belichick. He does not care what you people think about analytics. He does not care about analytics. He's going to do what he wants, when he wants, how he wants it. It's his team. And it's shown it may have worked. They scored the touchdown. They just had to hold the Colts, and they couldn't do it. Jonathan Taylor iced the game. So, I mean, in a way, you could say what you want. It's Bill Belichick. He's going to do what he wants. But Mac Jones, he was 26 of 45, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, Hunter Henry is becoming a very reliable guy for Mac Jones. I think that's definitely his guy all year, it just feels like. But Mac Jones had some very bad interceptions today. They were bad. They were terrible. Mac Jones did not play well. Their defense was very solid. Like, they really only gave up 20 points. They were put in a hole because of that block punt for a touchdown. And once you do that, you're not in a good space. Like, the total yardage, the Patriots outgained them by like 90 yards, had well more passing yards than the Colts did. But the penalties was just out weird. The Patriots did not play Patriots football tonight. Not even close. They did not. The Patriots, for them playing Patriots football, 8 penalties, and all those penalties, it felt like the penalties came at the absolute worst times for the Patriots. It was, they couldn't have gotten any worse. They were in places where they could have gotten a first down to extend a drive, or it could have, they even had a chance from the 1 yard line, got pushed back. The Patriots, man, the Patriots played bad, and it's weird to say that after the hot streak they are, but now they're 9-5, and they're fighting for their division now, as weird as it is, for as bad as the Bills have been playing. Literally, you think of it, the Bills win this weekend against Carolina. They're 8-6 now, and they're 1 game back at the Patriots, and then they play the Patriots the very next week. So the Bills, this race of the AFC East it's not even close to over. Not even close. This game as a whole, the Colts just out-physicaled them. It was pure domination by the Colts. It was pure domination. It really was. I think both of these teams have a lot of things they need to work on. Mac Jones definitely needs to improve. They definitely offensively need to step up and play a little bit better than what they did. They can't just wait until late in games to get back and stuff. The Colts have a quarterback problem, because I think Carson Wentz is going to be their main reason why they don't win in the playoffs, which is really going to stink, because I like the Colts. I like them a lot. But I don't trust Carson Wentz at all. I don't trust Carson Wentz whatsoever. But that is my review of this special Saturday night edition of NFL football. Give me your thoughts down below of what you thought of the Colts and the Patriots game, and I will see you in the next one.